Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this new session of the morning briefing. Let's get started right away. Here we are, perfect. As usual, let's do a recap of yesterday. In short, yesterday was a day of particular interest. We witnessed, in short, an opening in decline, although essentially, let's say it was somewhat contained. It was a bit contained from the recovery movement that occurred on Monday. So there was an attempt at new declines held in this area here, which is the low made on the retracement for Monday's high. After that, the market took a direction more towards recovery, the ride. It was then from above this level in the evening, then it went on to close higher. At the moment, the situation is somewhat similar to yesterday. After the close, there was a new attempt to break the highs right at the opening of the regular trading hour. After that, the price faded a bit. We are working within the BC3 levels, so absolutely in line with expectations, especially because today we have a day full of appointments in macroeconomics. First of all, let's look at what happened yesterday from a macro perspective. Yesterday there was the data. Manufacturing ASM prices continue to be high, so this certainly raises concerns. Then there was the data jolts. So just think that in 2022 the vacant positions per unemployed person were 1.8, whereas now it is 1.7. So it is a figure that certainly reflects a concern, like a concern also from an employment perspective. Today we will have a new clue about the employment situation because there are the ADP and other data. Then the even more important ones are the non-farm payrolls on Friday, so pay close attention. Then there is the usual data. Weekly on crude oil inventories. Then in the evening at 8:45 p.m. Italian time, so just before the US closes, there is the speech by Lagarde, the president of the ECB, and then at 9 p.m. Trump's speech. So a day full of events that can become market driven. So pay close attention today as well, I urge you. Be cautious. Take profits when you can. In short, protect your scaled down creations, your size. Perfect. With this brief introduction done. In short, we framed the Nasdaq from a slightly broader perspective, but I see it's quite a recovery. This, in short, can certainly also bring prices into the area, right up to the 20,000 area for a potential test. We'll see. In short, if they manage to find the momentum at the moment. In short, every upward push you see is very well sold. Then buyers return, so very wide swings. This is certainly the characteristic of this period, high volatility, and especially the volumes have returned to being very, very quite high. In short, only a ring for Cantiglia, even on measured series over several years. At the moment, as I was saying, we are monitoring the RD1, SD1. Certainly pay attention to this area of levels BC3, which could definitely be an area they will test. So close to SD2. Before possibly attempting a recovery upwards, it could easily happen, of course, that breaking this level could definitely lead to a test of this area here, which I think is the minimum range. In short, what I did, except here that I remember. In short, there was this opening in letter after the very bearish weekly opening. Then in short, the market recovered. So there could probably also be a new test of these lows breaking SD2, which obviously currently represents the primary support as a range. We have this here, RD1, SD2, upwards for the entire SD1 lot. Then we have the levels I mentioned earlier in the area of 19 or 950 with probably, in short, attacks in the 20,000 area, which is then encryption. Let's look at S. Here it is. Perfect, a more or less similar situation, even more robust. Because do you see? In short, how is it working on the PC levels? 3 are a bit higher, so it's working on SDB 0 at the moment. Oh, upwards, obviously. In short, here it made a double top. You see yesterday in short with between Mardo, yes, between 18 and 25. In short, it's shortly after the opening, yesterday to yesterday, so we can also consider this double top. In short, a break of this area, certainly then 56 and 95, 695. A break of this area could definitely provide upward pushes up to 557.27. But why not even 57.40? With a bit of the volatility that is present, it can absolutely be a possible target on the downside. Obviously, in short, here too, the first stronghold is this one of the BC3 levels that I would monitor, precisely this area of the BC3 levels. With the last level 5.6 and 23, once this is broken, then we move to the dangerous levels, 5.6 and 5.6. We should be able to hold it in order to aim for higher recovery levels. Okay, let's now move on to the other American indices, starting with the Dow Jones. Here it is. Dow Jones, which in short is also holding up a bit tight like the others. So it is currently working on the SD 0. 42,425. In short, the area to monitor for an upward trend and obviously for a downward trend, I would monitor this area right here. In short, the first SD2, in short, the SD1, SD2 area. Certainly, a break of this area could definitely lead prices to test this low recorded on Monday at the opening, roughly about half an hour after the opening. So definitely this is for any potential downward targets. In short, the level to monitor here, there's quite a bit going on because it represents the weekly opening. So this could definitely also be a target, but I see these two as important obstacles first. To overcome this as well, especially this area here, because 42,000 more or less as an area could represent an obstacle as a round number to break through. Let's also take a look at the Russell, which has held up. Yesterday, it managed to recover the 2000 level. It was important to stay above it. 2015, 2016. These are important levels also from the past, so this area of SD1 absolutely needs to be monitored with potential bearish pushes if it were to be broken. Also testing these lows here, so between the value area and the range of the lows. On the upside, of course, we are monitoring this high here in the 240 area also because it was reached with good volumes. So if it were to be broken, it could certainly provide bullish pushes. Let's remember that it is a very volatile product in nature, even more so than the Nasdaq in terms of historical volatility. So maximum attention is required for this instrument as well. Let's move on to the last one as usual, the DAX. The European future, a bit of a mix indeed. Opening strongly on the sell side. The levels of area BC3 were tested indeed this morning. A bearish push that has already led prices to test. Indeed, the minimum rings that just recovered are testing SD2 from below, so maximum attention to SD2 from below. And then it represents the area of all these lows here. So if it fails to re-enter, essentially to pass this level again, BCD at 22,580 could certainly be. This is an opportunity both for short selling, absolutely, for ambitious targets, even for the minimum ring. But why not? Even these lows recorded on Monday, obviously, they are. A recovery of this could easily bring the price back to 22,760, testing the upper area of this ring. Okay, having said this for the DAX as well tonight, let's move on to oil. Here it is. Yesterday, well, it's correcting a little bit. It managed to get out of the channel we had, well, where it had recovered. With this nice push-up momentum that we see here, always recorded on Monday. And, well, at the moment, we are working below. So, well, it made an attempt. Do you see here how it worked right at the edge of the channel with a push to get in? This line is not exactly precise, but, well, This makes us understand that, well, at the moment, this could also be a moment for Dolby, well, to exit this channel, but certainly here a slowdown in the economy could indeed bring prices down. Because, well, it is certainly influenced, obviously, by the economic trend in oil as levels too. Certainly monitor this area here, which then encompasses all the BC3 levels between 71 and 71.30. A break of this range, or well, upwards, would certainly bring prices probably to a test of RD2. Obviously, if it does not recover the BC3 levels and thus breaks this range, it could also start a downward wave that could easily bring prices to test this area here. Because then, well, it represents Monday's exit from this sideways movement, essentially with the momentum to bring prices into the channel. So it could certainly be a valid price test in the area of 70. Okay, let's take a look as usual. Gold, here it is. In short, always lively, especially as a result even this morning of this push at the opening of the European markets. In short, with an electric opening, obviously gold shot up. We have returned in short zone to retest this area here in short, which then in short represents. Here we have the target of the third wave in short, no need to repeat. We have repeated it many times in various morning briefings of past days, so be careful. In short, gold continues to have in short the wind at its back for many, many reasons, so pay close attention. Here, there could easily be a break here of the area up with ease in short tests of this area here, with also a possible, eventually a break of this area. In short, absolutely possible with gold. Let's look at SPX now. I'll just pull this with today's string. Obviously, in short, a somewhat similar situation of waiting. Basically, there's an attempt at recovery. We look at it on the 4-hour chart, so we have an idea of how much we have said in the last few days. Perfect. Okay, you see that we are still there. In short, close to, let's take a moment, these leads. Perfect. We are always close to this level. Here in short, this is the area to pass 56.90, 57, as we said, also in short for what it was. In short, basically, this is the area to pass. 57.30, 57 and 50. So, considering roughly 50 points less, we are about there. So this is the area to monitor for SPX. Upwards, obviously, which could potentially bring the prices. In short, Merati, here to a retracement comfortably of 58 and 60, be 58 and 50. Certainly, though, or angle, is this obviously a hold at this level, which could also be an opportunity to short. I certainly expect with the defense of this level by the sellers and indeed a decline, obviously. I expect then, indeed, if this level holds, indeed, there is a new attack on this double minimum recorded. I probably expect a night with a test of lower levels. We'll see what happens. Perfect. That said, indeed, we have reached the end of this morning briefing. As always, I invite you to leave a like on the video, to follow me. On social media, we'll be in touch. As later, as always, in chat, thank you all for your attention.